Yo, what is going on, YouTube? What is going on? What's going on? It is Monday. It is 3:15 because I suck at time. And this is the Pulse with Mr. Ryan Turner, the amazing Ryan Turner, and myself, Derek Smith, coming live to you guys. What are you guys up to? What are you up to, Ryan?
Back every Monday. Nothing, man. I got a trailer. I'm trying to hook that up, all the wiring and stuff. It's a pain in the ass. Then you have to register it. So that's what my day's been like. But this will be a good break, man. Because you know what always makes me feel better? Arm
What?
wrestling.
Arm wrestling. Arm wrestling,
Talking
you know,
about it.
it's a
Gossiping.
constant. It's a constant in our lives, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Once I got it, once I got the arm wrestling tattoo on me, then I knew I was a lifer. Like
Yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of sealed the deal for me. I was
Honestly,
like,
if you don't have one of those, I question your integrity.
well, that's like I guess I'm kind of in it now. So
You BLM has one, right? Brennan Lemon
right.
Mullivan. Fair number of people. I think Michael Todd has one.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw this icon somewhere. Actually, for those of you guys that don't know, the icon on Reddit is my tattoo. But I like that icon from way back in the day. Somebody else made it. Having a brain fart right now on his name, but somebody else made it, put it on the internet. What's that?
The Yukon Jack guy, wasn't it like something related to that?
Oh, oh my gosh, it's another crap out of me. I'm another brain fart. It'll come to me. I'm sure when I stop.
Yeah, he's lying. By the way, he actually likes the Reddit so much that he took the Reddit logo and it's like, I need this to be a part.
You
of
know what? Oh, you're right. Yeah. That's what I did. What I did. Just because I'm such a diehard Reddit fan. You get the logo tattoo.
The most hardcore Reddit moderator in history.
If you guys are new to the channel and new to the show today, this is the Pulse where basically we go over the hot topics on Reddit that have to do with arm wrestling. We'll just kind of weigh in on them, give them our opinions, and then we'll probably get into some training questions here near the end. We usually try to hop over there. It's not super chat based like my other shows I do on my channel. So if you guys, basically we're just gonna be grabbing onto super chats. But besides that, hello to everybody. I already see David, JW Buckley, Shane Owens, Sean, all you guys I see already in here. Thank you for hanging out. If you guys could share this, that would be awesome. Trying to get this word out. And if you guys are not subscribed to Ryan's channel, it's on my channel this week. Next week we'll be back on Ryan's channel. We flip flop. So you guys make sure you check out Ryan's channel as well. All right, let's get this Reddit thing up here for us. There we go. All right, so
this many times Devin has been at the top in some way, shape, or form.
We should go back on the last 21 episodes. And see. I bet you he's been the first topic majority of the time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, so scrolling down from the top voted posts from this week on Reddit. Hats do not fit anymore. At this point, Devin is beyond human.
Is that real?
No, I mean, okay. If he's taking a ton of growth hormone, right, he could be growing, but not at the rate that they're like. His hats, I mean, come on. That's probably a child's hat that he has on there.
Right. That was the question. Is this the standard hat he's been using in the past? It doesn't seem. I don't remember a blue hat on him, but if that's legit, very impressive noggin there, Devin. Very impressive.
Like, can everything grow? Yeah, they say if you take growth hormone, everything grows. But like, I just don't think his head's growing at the rate people are talking about. You know what I mean? Right. Like, that just seems a bit excessive.
Plus, he shaved his hair, so that would mean like the actual bone would have had to made up for the hair loss and then some. And
the gap in his teeth isn't getting wider. Anybody notice that?
Hey,
I know. I'm just saying. I mean, you guys both got that. Was it that Lloyd Christmas? You know.
Yeah. Mine is the exact size of a Capri Sun straw. That is whatever the diameter of that straw is. It fits perfect. I don't have to touch it. It stays.
I grew up with one. And then when I got older,
you didn't get braces to fix it, did you?
No, I just did it naturally because.
Oh, okay. I was going to say those are traitors.
Yeah, just grew up and just became a man, right? So lost the gap.
Gotta hit puberty soon, man. No clothes.
All right, move forward. Posted by a real person, 1495 says Zaur versus Georgie Svedkop, East versus West 10 confirmed. Right arm
confirmed.
Zaur. So this is Zaur's opening East versus West match, right?
Yeah, he's done a lot in what the AMC events, right? We've seen him there, but like not much international.
I think that's important. I think that's the biggest thing holding him back from potentially being ranked a lot higher on a lot of people's rankings. Is like he only does the AMC, and he does well over there, beating Vitali. Then I think Vitali beat him, but like going back and forth with him, and then Dmitry Salev over there, kind of going back and forth with him, and things like that. So, some people had Zaur, I think, at one point as high as like 3 in the world.
That was so ridiculous. That was such a hype train because he beat Vitali, who Vitali. I mean, they always say this. Oh, I wasn't in good shape. I was just barely getting back into things. So I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Who knows? But yeah, this will be the real test for him.
Yeah. So who do you think wins this right now? Just
Georgie, 100% Georgie. He looked so good. More international experience, more experience at East versus West. Used to the hotel, the experience, everything. The nerves are going to be lessened. So. I think, right? Does anyone have Zaur as the favorite here? Because he says there's so many question marks around him. I'm not sure you can have him as a favorite.
I don't know. We always got knuckleheads in here. I bet you watch. Someone in here is gonna say Zaur's gonna take this. Watch. Who's gonna be the first person? Somebody tell me somebody predicts Zaur.
Yeah, it is a great match. That one guy. Like I like the match. I don't hate it, but I can't see. Replace Zaur. Yeah, people want him replaced. Finally, Zaur.
Man, that's I don't think anyone. Oh, easy win for Zaur. There you go. Possible
way
salamander.
Down there.
Possible salamander 12. There is a believer.
A pump from scrolling so much there.
there's a believer. Salamander, possible salamander.
And look at the responses, man. Last time they met, not really, bro. I don't know about the last time they met. Was that at WAF or something? I don't remember.
I think I think someone posted it or somewhere. Maybe it was. I think I saw a clip of them arm wrestling. Georgie should have the advantage because Zaur doesn't favor rising, and Georgie does, and so Georgie should be able to top roll over the top of Zaur's riser. But unless Zaur has that much strength where he can have his wrist up and just get in the straps and bring Georgie with him. But stylistically, I'd say Georgie's a favorite. But Zaur is supposed to be this next level beast.
Right. It just sucks that Artem was in such poor shape for his match with Georgie because that would have been perfect data because Artem pulls so much. But I don't want to take away from Georgie here, but he got the win. It looked impressive, but that obviously wasn't the same Morozov. So question marks around both of them. So good match. I'm for it.
All right. Posted by AW Raute. It says result of 2.5 years of daily pronation training. This guy's kind of looking a little mini Devin-esque.
That's only 2.5 years, man.
Of daily pronation, though. Daily.
I mean, he's clearly super lean, but
I'm trying to think what's the most frequent you got up to training your pronation?
What's that?
What's the most frequent you got up to training your pronation? Like how often?
Most frequent?
Yeah.
Every other day.
Every other day? I got up to every day in the gym, but I would only go 5 days a week. So I would do like Monday through Friday, I would hit pronations a little bit, and then Saturday, Sunday off. So I did that for like 2 years, and that's when I saw maybe like the least amount of gains. Like for me, it wasn't until I started doing pronation 2 to 3 times a week overall. That's when I started seeing the most gains. More time off.
Right, and then you have Devin doing it multiple times a day, right? So it's like, I don't know if it's different strokes for different folks. It's just genetics, or if it's like, hey, you have to work your way up, or a combination of factors. But it's so crazy all the different ways people train. And then speaking of Georgie and the Bulgarians, like all they do is arm wrestle, right? They barely do any weight training. It's fascinating, all these different strategies, and all of them work in their own right.
Right. The weird concept of, like, they say forearm training is kind of like training your calves or your abs. They're like, they say that, I don't know if it's the muscle fibers are different or the recovery time is different because they're utilized in everyday activities. So we're constantly using them. So they just grow differently, which is true, right? It's taken me, for the amount of work I've put in on my forearms, it took me years to get anything noticeable compared to my chest or my biceps or whatever, how fast those grow. Right. But I don't know in terms of reps and sets, what is most optimal for those things to grow. I'm not sure, because I asked Engen, I think when I first got my coaching with Engen, I remember I asked him, I said the same thing. Don't I need to do it every day? Sorry, because they heal up so fast. He goes, no, treat it like any other muscle. We'll do it 2 to 3 times a week. That's it, max. I was like, huh. So that was, I don't know. But I saw more gains when I did it less. person.
Yeah, there's a saying in the fitness space: for every expert, there is an equal and opposite expert. So,
Yeah,
that's
true. Posted by LaFay09. Hermes will travel to Canada to train with Devin. Confirmed in a live yesterday that he will train with Devin in Canada. P.S. For all the haters, he's also said that after the match, that Devin gave him a lot of tips and it's a very nice person. What does Hermes get out of training with Devin? What? And why are people so excited about it? Just for the clips? Or
yeah, definitely.
All right.
I'm sure. I mean, them two together in a room is always funny. So, but
well, yeah. Now that the ice is kind of broken, the matches happen, so it's kind of like, all right, we see what happens when they get real serious right now.
Right.
So maybe they'll let their guard down a little bit, joke around a little bit more, have fun. I still believe in more ways than not, Hermes is stronger than Devin. That still didn't. My opinion hasn't changed because Hermes lost. But there are a few ways where Devin's stronger than Hermes, and he makes those ways count. So yeah, I guess it'd be interesting. Maybe lightly fresh. Maybe we can see him go into a hook. At practice and see what happens. Or things, like maybe see some other angles. That could be interesting. I don't think Hermes is going to learn a ton from Devin or Devin a ton from Hermes. But I mean, I guess it could be some good table time. I mean, Hermes, you guys gotta remember, like Hermes' dad was a professional arm wrestler. He's been doing this since he was a kid. I doubt there's a lot of things, light bulb moments going on for Hermes in terms of arm wrestling that Devin's gonna open him up to.
Right.
So,
man, one of my favorite videos of all time is, do you remember when Devin and Matt Mask got together and they were on a raft on a lake getting towed by a boat arm wrestling? Can you imagine being on that lake, dude? You're just like, with your family, and then all of a sudden a boat comes by and two dudes are arm wrestling while being towed.
The crazy thing is, like, that's something you would do for like a YouTube clip or like a TikTok video, like as a joke. Like, they were legitimately training.
Yes, that's what they wanted to do that day. Yeah,
floating on a float. That was crazy. That was a wild video. Moving forward, posted by Vegetable Boring, King of the Table 8 card has the matches, and there we go. Ron Bath, Matt Mask, Vovoda, Berzink, Lachlan, Krasimir, Klinchenko, and Chance, and then Lars, Rabokin, and Big Marty Morris. Okay, give me your predictions. Go over it.
Oh boy, Matt Tauranga seems like he's ready to break on the international scene. Lars has that flop press though, right? I don't know. Yeah. Well, Matt Tauranga did seem quasi vulnerable to it, even when Bowen flop pressed him at AWE 1. So there might be a lane there for Lars. I might even say he's a slight favorite there. So I'll give that to Lars. Chance and Konochenko. Oh God. Chance, right? I think is a favorite there. Maybe. I don't know. Chance has some big wins, like and then some big losses, right? He lost to DeVete, but he let me pull up his history here. He just beat oh my God.
He
beat Sabin.
Badaleski, yeah.
Right. And then lost to Oleg, beat Zurab. So yeah, he's checkered. Okay, I'm gonna be a little biased here. Chance, final answer.
Okay.
Ron Bath, Matt Mask. I gotta go Ron. Yeah.
Why Ron? I'm interested in that one.
Oh man. Poor Matt. I don't know if he's flipped the switch yet, man. Every time I'm voting on him, it doesn't seem like he's back where he needs to be. I remember in one post-match interview, he's like, I just don't have that aggressive hit at the start anymore. I've been training so defensively. And Ron, I mean, look at Ron versus Zurab. He's super freaking strong, tons of endurance. I don't know if Matt's going to be able to take his wrist, but I mean, Ron's 60-something now? I don't know when the heavy decline is going to start, but I don't know.
All right.
It seems like you disagree with me on that one. Give me your thoughts.
No. Finish your predictions. You still got Krasny and Lachlan, and then John and Vovoda.
Okay. John beats Vovoda.
Okay.
John beats Vovoda. Lachlan beats Krasny.
Okay.
Yeah. Lachlan beats Krause. He's too strong. He's leveled up.
In a hook, or does he top roll?
Lachlan has options. I guess that's one of the reasons, man. I was talking because he was my roommate at East First West 8, and we were talking, and he's like, I'm like, what do you consider your ace move? And he's like, whatever my opponent's weaker at. Like, he's got so many options. He's so ridiculously strong. He's coming off a very impressive performance. And I think Krause's had a rough go of it. He's kind of coming back. He had a good showing right at WAF, but I think Lachlan's the real deal and has too many options. He can bang in the hook with him. If you can't get him there, he can top roll. So I'll go Lachlan there.
Kind of, I mean, with the exception of Chance and Klinichenko, every match has someone that's kind of been on a losing streak a little bit in it, right? With Big Marty's been losing, Krause, well, besides WAF, Krause's kind of been losing, John's on a bit of a losing streak, and Matt Mass is on a bit of a losing streak, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, so I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing, like, see what happens there. But I agree with you. I think I had Lars as a favorite.
Yep.
I went over this, I think, last Wednesday on my channel. I had Lars as a favorite. I ended up having Chance as a favorite. I had Lachlan as the favorite. I always go with the GOAT.
We're 4 for 4.
But I also admitted that, like, I will say that I think John's going to win. But I can also admit I think the odds are against him. But I'm still going with him.
Why are the odds against him? Like, how do we even know?
I just think recently from the way, if the last time we saw John pull in terms of the way he pulled with Todd Hutchings, and I think I can't imagine Vovoda coming back for a second time and not being fully prepared this time. You know what I mean? Like, he came back with Tim, I'm back, got spanked, and then quit again. Do you really think he makes the same mistake again?
But you're assuming he made a mistake. Maybe that was him fully prepared and Tim just beat him. Like, that's just what it is, you know? Like, I feel like we're like, oh, he didn't win, therefore he must have made a mistake. But maybe Tim was just that good on that day.
No. I think Tim was amazing. I think he definitely underestimated Tim. But like, as I'm saying, but do you think he'll make that mistake again? Do you think he'll underestimate John?
Well, I mean, John took the first round off Ungarbayev. Like, he is right there, at least at that 105 category. Like, that he is at the top level, and this is a comeback match for Vovoda. Like, that, it seems like on paper, if anything. Like, and John, remember that match with John and Corey? Like, Corey West. No. The power John has, the sticking power, the stamina, some of those rounds were ridiculous. And then he's got the technique to be able to handle Ungarbayev. Yeah, he lost to Todd Hutchings, but like, tall
John
order
different right now than when he pulled Corey West.
What's that?
John's looking smaller right now than when he pulled Corey West.
Fair, but what? It's been like a year and a couple months or something. I don't know how long ago that was, but
like I said, I agree with you. I always predict John to win. I just can understand why some people would think Alexei would win with the lifts he's putting out, how hard he's training. He is a lot, considerably younger. I don't know. I could see it happening, but yeah. I go with the GOAT as well.
Right. I guess I'm putting a heavy premium on ring rust, so we'll see.
Yeah. And then Ron Beth and Matt Mask.
We have all the exact same predictions so far. Maybe different reasons, but who do you got here?
I'm trying to remember who I went with on Wednesday. Stylistically, I think Ron has a good match versus Matt, but I think Matt is hungry. I think he's tired of losing, and I think Ron is getting older. I think Ron's still amazing, but he is getting older. At some point, that has to take effect. So I'm going to go with Matt on this. I'm going to go with Matt. Yeah. So that's my predictions on these. I mean, we'll see. Which one are you most excited about? Which match? Which match do you like leave in the kitchen and come, oh, that match is on? Hold on. You got to run over and watch it. Like, that's the one.
I mean, I spent like almost a full week with Lachlan not long ago. We became pretty good, pretty tight. So just from a personal level, I just want to see Lachlan succeed. So I would say that. But then other than that, just John Brzezinski, because like when I got into this sport, he was retired, and I had accepted like I'm never going to see this dude pull. So anytime I see him on a table in a proper match, it gets me going. So for personal reasons, Lachlan. For just arm wrestling reasons, John. How about you?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, in terms of what I think is going to be a crazy banger match, it'd be between the Krause and Lachlan or Klinchenko and Chance. So that's the one I'm kind of interested in actually watching unfold.
Yeah.
The other ones, like I'm kind of worried that they all have potential to be a blowout one way or the other a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it might just happen that, you know, Lexi is just way too much for John. Like that could just happen, right? We're like, oh man, okay. Or, you know, Ron could be way too much for Matt and just control Matt's. Like I just feel like there's other ways Lars could start that flop press and it's just not close. It's just over. Just 3 flop presses in a row, and Big Monty doesn't have the answer for it. You know what I mean? Like I just see the other ways that those could be kind of blowouts. The other 2 matches, I think no matter what, it's kind of we're gonna see some arm wrestling. We're gonna see some closeness. So yeah,
good coming up.
All right. Moving forward. Oh my God, I really thought that was me for a second. No, I'm not even joking with you. For a second, when I scrolled down, I thought that was me. Like for a split second. But I'm way better
looking. Make the face, Derek, so we can clip it. Turn your face a little bit. Look somewhat. Yeah, there we go.
My hair is kind of messy.
It's not far off, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like if you're speed scrolling, I can absolutely see that being jarring.
Just take me a second.
Yeah, this is the most wholesome post that's ever been on Reddit. We don't get many of these, but this one is nice.
Coming in, sir. LOL. Apparently, Concrete Elbow has a crush on 6'8", 300-pound plus pounds bearded Russian trucker. Vitaly looking very handsome after a fresh cut. Oh.
I guess the post is kind of making fun of Concrete for posting this, but we can overlook that.
Well, you know, Vitaly, you know, he's a good-looking guy. My mom has a huge crush on Vitaly, and I don't know in which way. Like, if it's like she just thinks he's awesome, or if she like has a crush on him. But my mom loves Vitaly.
Really?
So, yeah.
How did that come up one day? She's like, by the way,
wait, whoa. I'm not calling it that. You're not my father. You know, I'm older than you. Anyway,
that's funny.
Weird. This is getting weird. But yeah, dude, Vitaly, he's the man. Honestly, like someone asked the other day, like if you could make one person speak English, who would you pick that doesn't speak English? I said Vitaly. 100%.
What a funny question.
Yeah. What would you pick if you got one guy magically know English?
Oh man, one person speak English. Morozov probably I know he can speak some English, but like fluent English, probably Artem Morozov, because like you probably see it, like he's goofing around all the time at the East First. When he's like, I'll be doing an interview and he'll walk behind him and start making like funny faces, like. He doesn't take himself and he was doing marks on the back of Corey and stuff at King of the Table. He seems like a goofball, funny dude. So probably Artem Morozov.
Okay, that's respectable. All right, here we go. Mr. Green post: who would be on your Mount Rushmore? 4 arm wrestlers on your Mount Rushmore. Now, I don't think that has to mean like the best record, but what 4 faces? And they made a solid choice right here. What 4 faces do you have on your Mount Rushmore of arm wrestling?
Yeah. The only controversial one there, I think, is maybe Dennis, because his career got cut a little short after 2018. John, obviously, Engen, especially now with the greatest of all time events that he's putting on, I think, and just as a lightweight puller, he kind of deserves it. But add East vs. West onto it, I think that's a mark. Devin, obviously on there, has done so much for growing the sport; it's ridiculous. Dennis is the only one. I'm not arguing that he shouldn't be on there, but if you were to swap one, maybe Dennis for
who?
I don't know.
Who are you about to say right now? What?
Yeah. Babkin, he belongs up there. Leave me alone, man. I'm just saying, if I had to swap one,
you gonna say Levan? You about to say Levan? Or you about to say?
I was gonna say Levan because he was like in his prime, like 2021 or whatever. Like, there has never been a gap that big, I don't think, between number one. Like, he was considered like in a different like weight category almost in terms of like who could even. The biggest problem was who the hell do we even throw at this guy, right? Like, we were gonna give him Artem Morozov, and people were like, why? But Engen was like, who else? You know, like that's the level Levan was at. But he's only 31 or something, and now he's injured. So I don't know, Derek. Is this just the perfect Mount Rushmore? Should we just leave it be?
I'm maybe cycling down to 3. Like,
Oh
I would just
wow.
leave the 4 spot. I mean, I agree with you to a point, but and Levan's amazing. I just don't know if he deserves that spot either. And Dennis was amazing, and Dennis was more my time when I was just getting the sport and I was hyped on it. Dennis was the Levan. Dennis was the guy beating everyone and being the man. And everybody, people will get like a sneaky win on him here or there. People aren't even getting sneaky wins on Levan. But yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I would leave that one open. Have 3, and I don't know. I can't think of another person that has contributed to the greatness of the sport. That's right there in terms of their ability and their contributions.
Is there a certain shape you would start to chisel it in, or is it like blank slate?
I'd like to give Levan another like 5 years and see what happens.
Fair.
You know what I mean? And just kind of see where he goes, how that injury heals up and what ends up happening in this career. I mean, he definitely has potential to do it. I mean, maybe Dennis comes back and reclaims this and for sure like, cements it. I don't know. But John, yes, the GOAT and the face of arm wrestling, like it should have been to us arm wrestlers. And then Engen with his potentially the best lightweight of all time, or at least in the argument, and all his contributions to the sport with East vs. West. And then Devin with his track record and all the contributions to the sport and like growing and all things like that. So yeah, I think this is solid. And there's so many dudes that are so high up on the list in terms of contribution to the sport. And there's other guys that have done amazing, but not often do they coincide together. Right. And so, yeah. Anyway, what do we have? 341. We got 19 minutes. Oh, actually, no, I'm down. Are you down to go to 4:15 or do you want to call it at 4?
Yeah, I just, let's check if, Aussie is live after this because I don't want to cut into his time too much, but we'll see. We'll play it by ear.
All right. Posted by Arm Wrestling is Fun. Oleg Cherkasov banned from East vs. West for testing positive in WAF with vertigo medicine. This complete BS. East vs. West is not doping tested, and it's BS that Engen acts like WAF are good guys. East vs. West is nothing like WAF. It's all nonsensical BS. This really grinds my gears. Okay. So, do you want to explain to this person what's going on, or would you rather have myself do it?
Do you mean like the association between East vs. West and WAF?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had more conversation with Engen than I do, but from a aerial perspective, East vs. West is run by Engen, who's tied at the hip with the Turkish Arm Wrestling Federation, which is under WAF, right? So East vs. West is kind of like a sister organization to WAF. The referees come from WAF. At least like the original rule set was WAF based. Like Engen and WAF, they're together, right? So if WAF is banning someone and East vs. West doesn't ban them, then that can cause some controversy. It doesn't look like they're a single unit, and so it seems to me that everything East vs. West in terms of bans is downstream from WAF, but that may not be the whole story. I don't know if you've talked to Engen more about that. I've only had a brief conversation with him about it.
I feel like it's not just everybody that's ever been on the WAF ban list, because their names, the list is growing extensively. But I think like Engen will think of an idea of somebody and kind of check, like, is this guy really unknown now, or is it like just like a light ban? Is he banned light, or is he full ban? But yeah, in general, I mean, with Engen's ties, because it's so closely tied to the Turkish Arm Wrestling Federation, and that runs arm wrestling. He told me 100% that if without WAF's approval, there will be no East versus West in Turkey. It will not happen. So it has to. He has to play ball with WAF for it to be East versus West. So if Oleg Cherkasov decided to run stuff, even if it was vertigo medicine, to take stuff off the ban that's on the ban list and go compete at WAF, then he gambled his position at East versus West with it. I mean, everybody should know that. That's what happens. You get banned at WAF, you're not going East versus West for a while.
The weird part, I guess, is like East versus West doesn't drug test, right? And like some people just talk about it, openly. So I guess that's where they're like, why would you ban this guy for vertigo medicine when you're not even testing? And it's so it's like it's more of like a procedural thing.
Yeah. Don't
try to think too much about it. It's just if WAF does it, East versus West is kind of obligated to do it, and that's kind of all there is to it.
Yep. Posted by Master on Kings, the end of Levan era in arm wrestling. Basically, it's saying he hurt his wrist The same, he hurt his right wrist the same way he hurt his left, and he never competes left, and so they don't think his right wrist is going to heal up. Yeah, or it might not ever heal up again, like his left hasn't. What do you think? But hasn't there been talks of him going and getting stem cells?
Yeah, he is. I think he got his visa, and he has a doctor lined up over here. So there's that angle, but also I asked him about this, and he told me it's not just his wrist on left. He's like,
you guys are just chilling, or
yeah. Every Tuesday we go to the pool hall and we just mess around.
Had a couple beers,
yeah. We paint him up like an old man, and I want to arm wrestle my grandpa. It's Levan.
Size grandpa.
Yeah, it's a massive grandpa, dude. So yeah, he's like, it's not just my wrist. He's like wrist bad, elbow bad, shoulder bad. I'm like, so the whole thing is. He's like, yeah. So it's not. This isn't an apples to apples comparison here. And Levan would know, right? He's like, yeah, I should be ready to compete by what was it, like March, April of 2024. He said he's ready to get back on the table in a competitive fashion. He's doing some stuff with it. And so unless he says, like, he knows better than anyone else, we can speculate, Levan, this is the end of an era, but let's pump the brakes here, man. He's ready to compete soon. He's doing stem cells. And if there was bad news, he would probably know about it by now if things weren't healing properly, and we would know. So
right.
If Levan's not concerned, then neither am I.
Yeah. Yeah, when me and Levan, we were hanging out yesterday, we went out to dinner and we were chopping it up about arm wrestling and practice and stuff, like just kicking it like we do all the time. He was telling me that the same thing he just told you, so yeah.
But it was yesterday with you. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I might call him right now to see what he's doing.
Yo, L Dog, what?
L Dog,
let's crack it up.
That's funny.
Okay, I want to start getting into some training stuff. Dennis needs to go with the hammer. Oh my god! Oh, he still has the Legacy hammer, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, dude, they need to take the WAL logo off of that thing. I feel like it's weird, and that's gonna make a lot of people not want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being like East First West, and like Levan or Dennis walks in with a giant WAL logo on it. It's like, what are you doing, man? So they need to get rid of that part of it. Or maybe etch it in there, like so there is a nod to it. But like, it's a gigantic hammer with the WAL logo on it. Like, is that going to be the hammer we pass around? I don't know.
That's weird. Brad Grundy said funny Levan told him something different. Probably doesn't trust your cameraman, but Levan just texted me and saying don't trust Brad Grundy. So that was a weird text I just got from Levan. Actually, it's right there. See?
Yeah. Hold on. Yo, Levan, is Brad right? No.
No.
No. Sorry, Brad, dude. I don't know where you're getting your information.
Sorry, Brad, dude. Yeah. Actually, what up, Brad? You should have J'd up. Dude, we could have used you on the show today.
Yeah. Oh, he's too good for it. He's too expensive now. We can't afford his appearance.
He gets a win, and now he thinks he can wear jeans. Shout out Vitacell and all his sponsors on East West stage. Who do you think you are, Brad?
That's right.
You're going to go over there plugging stuff? You guys start buying Bitcoin? What are we talking about on the East West stage?
Yeah.
Brad?
All the fame's going right to his head, man. He wasn't
right
ready
to
for
his
it.
head.
He's going to burn out quick.
Let's see. Congratulations, Brad. You killed it. All right, let's get training. We're gonna go. We'll find a training thing. Let's do this. I'm gonna go back to the regular hot topic. We'll scroll down here. Oh, that's funny. Devin calf muscles versus Hermes forearm muscle. Wait, which one's? Wait, that's Devin's legs.
It looks like he's wearing camo pants, so I assumed that was Devin. Yeah,
that's a really weird angle.
Why?
Just there. It looks like shorts. I never see Devin wear shorts. And the shoes. Devin has those shoes.
I think he rolled up his pants. They look like there was army pants that he rolled up, but
yeah. And Hermes is wearing Birkenstocks all the time. This is just such a confusing.
What is this? The arm wrestling fashion hour?
This is such a weird time for me right now. Devin usually has the ugly footwear on. Hermes always rocks like Nike stuff. Like, what is going on in their feet compared to their clothing? I just don't understand. Whatever. All right, moving on.
I don't know.
That's fine. Wait, what? Anybody else practice King's move when you're walking an anxious puppy? She pulls. If your 4-pound dog is giving you King's move training while you're walking it, we got a whole different set of problems, my G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, I've been cranking on the King's move while they hold my 4-pound Chihuahua while it pulls on me, like, we got different things. You should be posting on Reddit about different stuff. You know what I mean? At that
Get
point,
yourself a Mastiff or a Great Dane. Come on, man. Come on.
Get yourself a 120-pound dog that's gonna rip
There
that
you
thing
go.
away. Right? One of my teammates like looked at me and like, Derek, can I ask you a question yesterday? And I walked over and I was like, what's going on? He's like, well, I want to train my King's move. I said, I said, what? Oh, you got to get him out of here. And I just started screaming at him. I was like, don't you dare. And he's like, well, it's just, oh my God. All right. And we talked about it.
How new is he?
I gave it a fair shake, but you know. All right. Homemade table pulley setups posted by Just Palpitation. Wait, what do we got going here?
That's homemade. That looks like that like standard one on Amazon.
Yeah, he said I just finished it. Nice. That does look pretty professional.
Yeah.
And the holes to switch the pads around a little bit. All right. It looks kind of crowded. Is this on the pads regulation side? Why does it seem so crowded?
Yeah, it might be the angle, but because you can get to anyone trying to build their own. WAF has a PDF of the specs of a table. If you just Google WAF arm wrestling table specs, it comes like the first result on Google. So the blueprint's there, but I don't know, make it work.
Hey, I think that's a really nice home built table. Like I wouldn't have been able to tell right away that you just made that at home. Awesome. Let's see. I was doing this yesterday in my girlfriend's car, actually, just on the little handle. You know, I was just like, look at this. And I was just floating when she was driving.
I would love
to
to
see that. I couldn't hit the window, but I was just holding on. Just like this guy.
This was controversial because this is cross-posted from the subreddit I Am the Main Character, which is a subreddit for dunking on people, basically being selfish and causing a scene for attention. But it doesn't, honestly, he's not bothering anyone. Like, it's really for, like, you know, TikTokers who will go into the middle of a restaurant and start like dancing and making a scene. But no, I honestly think that's pretty respectful and very impressive from
he just did a one-handed. What a dick. Like, who does a one-handed pull-up while everybody's seated and minding their own business?
If
like,
you could, you would. If you could, and so would I.
I could, if I weighed as much as him, I could with my current arm strength.
I could if no, that's great. That dude is shredding
my legs
on, man. Have you met him? Did you meet him when we were in Dubai?
No. He's a beast. I think he's the most actual popular TikTok arm wrestler. Really? Even over Arm Wrestling Whisperer, he's number one in the world, I think. Yeah,
it's funny. My good buddy, who's not an arm wrestler, sent me a TikTok the other day, and it was him wearing like a really baggy shirt, so he just looked like a scrawny dude beating some bodybuilder over at Larry's Dubai gym. And my buddy's like, dude, you told me this is all because of technique, right? And then I sent him a picture of Akimbo, this dude, with his shirt off, and he's freaking jacked and shredded, and he's like, oh, it's for TikTok. So yeah, he's like a viral machine because he dresses down and looks scrawny and then beats all these buff dudes.
Right.
You and I can't pull that off, Derek, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm unassuming.
Are you?
I don't think I've ever been called unassuming.
Yeah.
Before. I've just been called a letdown. That's about it. Never unassuming. All right. Posted by Slappy Slap. He says, why train riser at all? So I learned there's no muscle whose main function is radial deviation of the wrist. Rather, radial deviation is a secondary function of flexor carpi radialis, wrist flexor, extensor carpi radialis longus, wrist extensor, and extensor carpi radialis brevis, wrist extensor. In other words, rising strength comes directly from the muscles used for cupping and wrist extension. That got me thinking, why isn't training wrist flexion and extension enough for developing our riser? Theoretically, I should be able to only do wrist or reverse curls to get stronger at rising. Also, what method is most effective? Okay, it's obvious that since the whole arm wrestling community is training rising directly, this must be more effective. Arm wrestlers are known for their bro science, so I wouldn't trust that 100%. I'm curious, does anybody know of any study about the subject or that concept in general? P.S. The same applies to chopping, ulnar deviation as well, just with different muscles. Okay. Okay. Have you looked into the muscles utilized for rising?
Yeah. Not. I mean, I'll take his word for it, but I mean, it's like you can break down any compound movement into its component parts and train it. Like, you could train your pec by just doing, scapular flexion all the time, and then only do tricep extensions, right? And would that make your bench better? Marginally, but then if you actually do bench press and use them all in conjunction, it's going to be more effective to that end. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems like, you're just taking a compound movement and breaking it down into its component parts, which is a fair way to do it. But
well, yeah, I mean, yes, I think signaling out, getting used to the compound movement of it, getting them all working together, getting the joint more solid and more rigid, which sounds kind of lose your range of motion, destroy your wrist and your elbow. I think it's the way to go if you want to be stronger at rising. I think you need to train rising. And the weird thing about rising, so he's talking about why train riser at all in terms of just muscles and what's the point. But I don't know if he understands like the reason what rising does in an arm wrestling match and why it's important and why to train it. You know what I mean? I was thinking about this the other day. Rising is one of the only, if not the only, direct movement in arm wrestling where you directly fight someone with that singular motion. And it's even, right? So I don't directly fight you bicep versus bicep. There's always side pressure going on. There's cupping. There's rotation. Rising is the only other thing you fight someone's riser directly, riser versus riser.
So you mean like my cup is your pronation kind of
yeah,
thing?
Yeah. Like it's always. But even if we're both hooking and there's some bicep involved, it's not just pure biceps. There's a compound movement that's going on. Rising is just singular out there, riser versus riser. That is the only pure fight I can really think of in arm wrestling. There's just 100% pure without any other things influencing it, right? Which is kind of crazy, right? And for it being such small muscles and so like. You can't get your riser. I mean, you can get it stronger, 100%, but it's never going to be a beastly pressure, right? So I think the small adjustments in your setup, your height, the angle of your wrist when you're setting things up, things like that can mean a world of difference. Especially when the whole thing is when you beat someone's riser, they are now holding on to you while you are in the driver's seat, right? You collapse the riser, now they're forced to hold on, and you can do what you feel like. That's the allure of having a stronger riser, but. Yeah, it's just kind of wild to think about that. There's never any more direct fights besides riser versus riser.
Okay, so
that's why it's important.
You train it a lot then, eh?
I mean, not extensively. I don't. It also depends like how you arm wrestle, right? If you lead with it, or if you trust it, or if you hook, or if you blah 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 blah. But it's just like, yeah, I was just saying like in general, those are the only fights you see that are pure. I'm not saying it happens with everybody. You know what I mean? But yeah, when those only two muscles that go right at each other, 100%.
What about like brachialis versus brachialis, right? Like if you're both in a strap and the strap's going around the base, you're both posting. Right?
Yeah, but there's going to be other things involved, right? Now we're going to have cupping and rising, and we're going to have other things involved as well. So it won't just be pure brachialis.
Fair.
Because the rising is at the top of the food chain, it's up here at the top. Then it's only pure one, right? And the cupping is pronation, things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only real lift, the only real number in a gym that you can associate who is stronger than who at would be rising. Like, right? Is if we have a fair grip, and we're both posting top rollers, then we can compare our rising numbers, and that will actually matter.
I don't know, because like even if you're there's gonna be side. If I'm gonna get some wrist flex, like the amount you can do with a straight wrist versus a cupped wrist, you know it deteriorates the second you start bending your wrist. Like you can't rise nearly as much. So
I'll amend that. Our riser numbers will matter the most. There will be small variations, but compared to any other comparing muscles in arm wrestling, riser versus riser numbers would be the closest.
Okay,
right?
fair.
With some variations.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Which is kind of interesting to think about because that's all people love to do on the internet is compare numbers and gym numbers and lifts, right?
Yeah.
But like there's so many other ways the other numbers don't carry over. But riser numbers, I guess, kind of do the most, not 100%, but the most.
It feels like the arm wrestling meta is shifting towards rising now. Devin's harping about it. It's no longer like rise cup roll. He's just like rise, 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 rise. Might be the most important thing. Where all his old seminars used to be like cupping. He's like, I used to only train cup. I used to think that was the only thing, and it seems like that's shifting towards rise now. But we'll see.
All right, it's 3:59. It's 4 o'clock. Did you find anything about Aussie? You guys, chat. Is RC Arm Wrestler going live right now, or do we have a little bit of time? Because we started at 3:15, so I was thinking about going until 4:15, or is he about to start right now? We got to get off because we love Jake. We don't want to.
Yeah, he's going live. Yeah, he's going live at 7. But he doesn't look like he's live yet. Maybe we do one more post and then move on.
Okay, one more post. Let's see. We just talked about rising, so I don't want to go back on that. This guy's post right here, posted by Strong Axe, says back pressure lagging behind. Since I started training 5 months ago, all the basic stuff, my hand has been improving rapidly in every department, and side pressure is starting to feel a lot more comfortable. The one thing that barely improved was my back pressure, and specifically my biceps, brachialis and brachioradialis, so all your elbow flexors. Now I'm not a newbie to the gym, been training prior, but only for hypertrophy. Now, as I incorporate strength training, less reps and more rest, I've been stagnating, even regressing. It honestly just hurts to do stuff more or less. I took a couple weeks break from any kind of physical activity, and still bothers me lifting more than 30 kg with my arms in any way. Too long and read is 5 months training, good hand progress, barely or none in my back pressure, doing the basic things I see on the internet. Any advice? Yep. Before you get into this, Ryan, super chat posted by Ben Chiampoli from Granite Arms. Thank you, Ben. And it's a $10 super chat. And he says, Ryan, are you going to the New England's? If so, what weight class will you be entering?
Yeah, so it's so silly, Ben. I committed this spring after Winter Blast. I was like, I'm only doing 242s from now on. That's my weight class. That's it. Then Mass States comes around. They cut the 242 class. New England's comes around, which is now an East versus West qualifier. What does Engen do? He cuts out the 242 class. Why? I don't know. Devin's the champion of the heavyweight class, and we just don't have it anymore. So now it's 231 plus is now the super heavyweight division at East versus West qualifiers across the board. So I'll be doing 231 plus. So I'll be with the big boys, and I hope to see you there, man, because this should be a banger now that it's a qualifier.
Ryan, do you have abs? Let me see your abs right now.
No.
Well, then what are we doing here? Why can't you make 231?
I'm like 248 in the morning right now, so like I could, but that would be at the expense of some extra strength. So it's like, do I want to cut all the way down to 231 and lose strength right now? Like, I'm thinking long term here, Derek, right? What does it matter if I make 231 for this one tournament? I'd rather get stronger and stronger and stronger. Think big picture here.
Well, either way, Ben, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the support, brother. And there's your answer from the man himself, Mr. Ryan. All right, last post we're going over here. What are your thoughts? Why is his back pressure not growing? What do you think he should change?
Dude, something's messed up. He even said regressing, like getting weaker, and you're training it. That is weird, man. So he said he used to train for hypertrophy. Now he's doing strength training, less reps, more rest. I've been even regressing. It just hurts to do stuff more or less. I think that's probably the key statement in all of this. If it hurts to do brachialis and brachioradialis training, you got to let that recover, man. I mean, people talk about shin splints. You can actually get forearm splints as well from overtraining. Or you could have a strain or something, and your body has a way of, if something's injured, not activating the muscle as much as it should be. It's going to protect itself, and for good reason. And so if you're hurting, you got to get that fixed, right? And I don't know if that means rest it, do some heat and cold therapy. I mean, you know, the old acronym RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation, whatever the issue is, get the pain gone, man. Because if you're just hurting every time you're doing a freaking hammer curl, no crap, you're not going to make progress and perhaps even regress. So it sounds like you have a latent injury, hopefully nothing serious. And that's why you're not progressing. And then the last thing I'll throw in here is flip your training on its freaking head. If you're not injured and you're not hurting and you're not progressing, just flip it all upside down, break convention. If you're doing a 5x5, throw that out the window, do a 20 by 5 or something totally different. freak your body out, because that's what building muscle is. It's a survival function. Your body goes under a physical stress. Frankly, it says, I don't want to die. All I know is my body's stressed. It doesn't know you're at a Planet Fitness. It just knows your body is under pressure. And so it adapts by building muscle. If your body gets too comfortable doing the same old routine, it's not stimulating. It's not going to feel at risk of dying. And so it's not going to adapt. There's a strength coach I follow who said, if I could, I'd have my athletes do pull-ups over a pit of alligators in order to trigger that function, that survival function, to be like, holy crap, if I don't get stronger, I'm going to die. And it was a little bit of tongue in cheek. But so if you're not progressing, just flip it all on its head, do high reps for a few weeks, just totally reset, and then go back to your strength training routine. But in your specific case, it sounds like you should make the pain go away before doing any more. Finn.
Yeah. Hey, and yeah, I mean, I just want to say you should probably just quit arm wrestling. All right, guys, thanks for the show. It's been a good
coach. Alpha Empire, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with things you were saying, Ryan. I have, it's weird, on my right, just my right, like brachial radialis, and I get knots. I'm not on my, I'll do the exact same exercise, but my right knots up and has problems all the time. It'll get painful. I went and bought one of these just for my right brachial radialis. Like that's it. So because it gets knots, and I noticed that when I start, my arms start knotting up like that. Once I rub them all out like that, then and give it a couple of days to kind of cool off, then I can start progressing again. It's just I pay attention, try to pay attention to the muscles, feel them out, feel if it's just hurting unnecessarily, like when you're not sore, and just kind of understand like what your arms are going through. Also, you're saying that you're doing everything you see on the internet, doing the basic things you see on the internet. So are you doing eccentrics? Are you doing statics? Are you doing concentrics? Are you doing partials? Are you how are you structuring this? If you're just doing everything, try sticking to some. You could also try sticking to something a little bit. If you're flopping everywhere and you're trying every different training method, you might be overtraining like that. I know Ryan said flip it around, but also if you're flipping around too much, maybe try sticking to one. Right. So I don't know. We don't know exactly what you're doing, but yeah, if you're not giving something a chance to grow, and you just keep jumping around to different lifts and stuff like that, that might be holding you back as well. Right. So I would say post more about exactly what you're doing in specifics. You say you're trying all the things you see on the internet. So I'd be more interested to hear about that. And then also like, don't forget to train the opposites, right? Triceps and things like that, the extensors, the balance in the arm. If you're what you call back pressure, which is not what I call back pressure, but what you call back pressure isn't getting stronger, then maybe you need to get stronger at pushing in order for the other muscles to grow, right? So you can start getting stronger at pulling. They always go hand in hand, generally. So, I mean, yeah, I would say take care of your muscles. Look at what you're doing. Get some rhyme or reason to what you're doing. Don't just hop around and just do a million different things, right? And, yeah, post more specifically about what you're doing. When you just say I'm doing everything from the internet and I'm regressing, I mean, it's just, I don't. That's not enough.
Why he's injured too, right? He's too.
Yeah.
The internet can be a nasty place, my dude. Be very careful where you get your advice.
But also, Ryan is very correct when he said that pain is bad. Pain is bad. Pain is there for a reason to tell us that's a no-no. Don't do that. Listen to your body and take care of it. If the pain persists and it's not something simple that you like massage or not or something like that, then yeah, you need to go get checked out, man. And it's just going to keep bashing your head against the wall if you don't get it fixed. So, all right, it's 4:08 for me, real time, fake time. What is it? 7:08 for you?
7:08 real time, baby.
I appreciate all the guys hanging out in the chat here with us. You guys, sorry I'm not so chat based. Normally my Wednesday one is, but Ryan wouldn't let me. He told me don't you dare look at the chat during our show, and so I couldn't talk to you.
Sorry, guys. This is my time with Derek, not yours.
I do want to do something selfish right now and give a shout out. You guys check out my last video I put on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be taking one apprentice. I just made a 5-minute video explaining it a couple days ago, where I'm be taking on one apprentice and an online student. I'm going to do one coaching for one person, and I made a video talking about it. So if I can get one of my moderators to please post that in the chat, the link to that video, I'd appreciate that, guys. Trying to get that ball rolling. I'm getting a few applications, but yeah, hit me up on Instagram and let me know if you guys are interested in that. And also the AW Switch. Bridget's always working on hats, shirts, and stickers and things like that for everybody. Some new stuff coming out pretty soon. So you guys check that out. Ryan, you got any websites you need to plug?
Armwrestlers.com is my little side project, and check out my YouTube channel, Ryan Turner Arm Wrestling. You'll find it, and we'll be there next week, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Big time.
Brad Grundy or Chris Drummond. One of those is supposed to. Yeah, we gotta get those guys on.
Yeah, we're due for a guest. So Brad, Chris, or anyone that got a good idea, reach out to us, or reach out to our agents. They'll relay the message to us, and then we'll get you on
I'm just worried though. At the end of this, Brad's gonna have so many sponsors he's gonna want to shout out at the end of our video that it might just keep going for an extra 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
All right, we'll cut the show at 6:30 or 3:30 and let him have his half hour to plug all his stuff. Oh, Brad.
All right, guys. Wait, I'm not seeing links. Where's my moderators? DF. What? I see DF in here. What? I'm over here. Bridget, why are you not plug the? Oh my God, I'm not paying anybody. That's it. No one's getting paid. That's it. I'm cutting.
Had enough of your
benefits are out. That's it.
Benefits are out.
I'm cutting it all.
Oh no.
Either way, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys. I'll see you Wednesday on my channel. Ryan, when's your next thing for your channel?
What's up?
When's the next time what are you doing for your channel? You got any other lives?
No, I don't have scheduled lives, just this one. So, but you can catch this on Monday. So
there we go.
Same time next Monday.
All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you later. Peace.